Welcome back, Pokemon Trainers. Professor Chaz here. The lab coat's on back order, and it's time once again for a long-awaited return to our Pokemon TCG live online matches here on the channel. Now that we've started off in the year 2017, it's time to get back to schedule on the channel. That being said, I'm already a day later on this than I would like to be. I usually like to have these updated on Wednesdays, but it is, of course, Thursday at the earliest that you're seeing this, depending on how quick it takes me to get this edited and such. But Thursday or Friday, I'll have this up on the channel, so you can check this out with a new deck strategy that somebody has asked me to kind of go over. I forget who exactly requested this deck idea, but I'm forgetting the name. If you know who you are, feel free to drop your name down in the comments below. And I apologize for missing out, but like I said, the holiday season, things got really backtracked and stuff, but I guess now we're getting back into the swing of things. So the deck is called Melt Away, but before we check it out, I want to go over a few things for the future of the channel in regards to these TCG live online matches. I got my notes off to the side here. So first of all, probably by the end of the month, what I want to do is an idea I had for the 1,000 subscriber celebration kind of a thing to sort of move the channel forward a little bit more. I want to start doing some viewer engagement battles with you folks out there. So probably starting at the end of the month, once I get back into the swing of things, I'm going to be looking at trying to set up some times to play some matches against you folks out there. If you want to play some matches on Pokemon TCG Online. The idea I'm thinking of is kind of like a play Pokemon format in which we'll use the same deck against each other. We'll do like the best 2 out of 3 matches, and I'd probably like to show off 2 or 3 videos each week featuring some of you folks out there in the battles, because there's going to be some weeks where another Pokemon TCG related event or video might have to take precedence. For example, the 1st of February, or maybe just the end of January, I'm not exactly sure which, but around that time, I will have the pre-release coverage of the new Sun and Moon expansion coming out in Pokemon TCG, so that's going to be like the priority video, but I'll have some more friend battles against some folks out there, and in order to do the friend battles, I want your suggestions on how to set these up. Now, first of all, as you can probably see, does it show anywhere here? It does not. But my username here on Pokemon TCG Online is Dotman64, in reference to my character of Dotman, my own comic book series. So feel free to add me as a friend on here, and at some point, probably I'm thinking on Sundays, I'll have a lot of free time. I can set up to have some friend battles, maybe record for a few hours or so, and choose some of the best battles to feature in the next week's videos, for like say 2 or 3 videos, as I said. And the idea is, how exactly should I go ahead and announce when it's time to start looking for me in the battles? I can either do like a maybe short little video and throw it on YouTube, but I can also post on Twitter. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter, I'll let you know when I'm going to be online, looking for battles in Pokemon TCG Online, and see if we can sync up that way. Basically, I'll send out a tweet. You guys can respond with your username, let me know, who's looking for battles, and we'll see if we can go with that. Kind of a testing the water sort of thing to see, will this actually work well for the channel? Hopefully it will, because in celebration and as thanks, a few folks out there supporting me to get to 1,000 subscribers, I kind of want to go, throw some throw some, I guess, notoriety back to you folks out there by giving you a chance to shine on the channel as well. So let me know what you think about that all in the comments down below, how you think I should go ahead and announce when it's time for battles, and what do you think of the idea of doing some viewer battles against me and yourselves, and we'll just go with that. Anyway, I think that covers everything I wanted to mention. I guess the only other thing I forgot to mention based on this here is that I'm going to focus on trying to use standard format decks, but I'm not opposed to using expanded format decks. Of course, if you guys have an expanded deck you want to use, we can go ahead and do that. Another thing, there's a cat in here with me right now. You might see her running around in the background a little bit. Now, she's staying relatively calm, but she might try to jump in a little bit. She's been trying to get in the videos for quite some time, and we'll see. Actually, come here. Nope, there she goes. I think she wants out now, but you gotta wait. I gotta show the viewers this deck that I've called Melt Away, and the idea here, full disclosure, is using a strategy that I usually don't focus on going for in Pokemon TCG. I'm the kind of person that likes to put together a cool idea for a strategy and how to battle the opponent, knock out their Pokemon, take all my prizes. This idea somebody did want to see is, can I put a good strategy together using the Melting Horn attack of Houndoom-EX? Yes, I'm using a Pokemon EX this week. I've got 3 of them actually in the deck. Melting Horn. For 1 fire energy, discard the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck. So this is going to be what they call a mill deck, in which you're trying to basically run your opponent out of cards in the deck and make them lose by being unable to draw a card at the start of their next turn. So we're going to see what we can do and make use of that. You'll see I've sort of mixed up my usual format of cards, but we'll just go over it as we get to it. So I've got 3 of those Houndoom. I might make use of the Grand Flame, but probably not, because the reason I'm not very good with these mill decks is because I still have the mindset of if I Grand Flame and do 50 damage, I can do some damage to the opponent's Pokemon and, possibly win that way. I gotta get out of that mindset. This is all about burning out your opponent's cards from their deck, so I can't even think about doing damage to the opponent. If I can win by decking them out, that is the strategy. So I got 3 Houndoom-EX to make use of that. I've got 4 Nincada from the Roaring Skies expansion, as well as 4 Ninjask. Last time I tried a mill deck, it was met with limited results, by which I mean I don't think I won, but I was using Ninjask that time, and I'm going to be using it again this time, possibly with some better strategies to help it out. The ability of Wing Buzz. Once during your turn before your attack, if this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, you may discard a card from your hand. If you do, discard the top card of your opponent's deck. So I can burn off 1 card from the deck by doing that. Then I can free retreat, there's no retreat cost on Ninjask, into the Houndoom-EX and use the Melting Horn for another 2 cards being burned away. So I could get 3 cards gone using that combination. Now, if I actually have something like a switch card or an escape rope, which you'll see I have included a couple of, I can have 1 Ninjask active to start the turn, do the Wing Buzz, I can retreat into the other Ninjask, burn another card, and then use the switch into Houndoom-EX, 2 more cards gone. So it could come in handy. Now, those are the only Pokemon I had in mind for burning cards off the opponent's deck, so if you're ever not sure what other basic Pokemon to put in your deck, because that only leaves me with 7 basics, so there's a chance I might mulligan, I always say Unknown with Farewell Letter is a good idea as well. It's a basic Pokemon, of course, so it's another 4 options. I've got 4 Unknown in the deck. The Farewell Letter ability says, if this Pokemon's on your bench, you can discard it, and it doesn't count as a knocked out Pokemon, but you can discard this Pokemon and draw a new card from the deck. So it could be a card that you need to make use of, but either way, it's going to speed through going through my cards in the deck to try to get something a little bit more useful. I do run the risk of eventually decking myself out by doing this, but I have ways to get cards back in the deck, and you'll see that as we get to it. But that's going to round out the 15 Pokemon for this week's video. Let's scroll down to the energy cards just for starters. I have got, how many is this? 9 basic fire energy and 2 basic grass energy. Not really going to probably make use of grass energy for attacking. I just included it in case I want to make use of the After Image Assault. For Ninjask here, you can actually do a meager 30 damage, but search your deck for up to 2 more Ninjask and put them on your bench. More Wing Buzz possibilities right there, and I like that. It's a way to get Stage 1 Pokemon in play without them being considered evolved Pokemon, because they haven't evolved up from Nincada. So that is the energy requirements, or energy, I guess, energy contribution, energy inclusion in the deck. 11 energy cards total. Now the trainer cards are what's going to fuel the deck the best. Now since I'm going to be discarding a decent number of cards, probably energy cards, and yeah, you'll see there's another way to discard energy cards that'll help me out. I've got 2 energy retrievals in the deck to put 2 basic energy cards from the discard pile back into hand, 2 escape ropes for switching Pokemon around, as I said. I've got a pair of level balls to help find any Pokemon of 90 HP or less, and that's going to be anything but the Houndoom-EX, so I can draw one of those Pokemon right out of the deck. 2 Professor's Letters. Search your deck for 2 basic energy cards and bring them right into hand. I've got 2 super potions because I want to try to keep Houndoom-EX from fainting, of course. If it gets knocked out, the opponent takes 2 prizes for that. So one way I can do this is I can attach a second energy to Houndoom-EX, then play a super potion to heal 60 damage, and then discard one of those energies. And as I said, we've got energy retrieval in the deck. We can use that to bring back an energy card if we need to. I've got 2 super potions. I've got 3 super rods this time. Normally I only put 2 in here, but I went with 3 because I'll be discarding a decent number of cards from hand using the Wing Buzz. I can freely discard Pokemon or energy cards and shuffle them back in if necessary. I've got 2 switch cards from the nice Evolutions expansion with the classic retro style of the card there. I've got a couple of Ultra Balls in case I can't quite find a Houndoom-EX. I can play that and discard 2 cards from hand, find myself a Houndoom-EX and put it right into play on the bench. Now, I've got 3 Versus Seekers. Normally I only put 2 into a deck when I assemble it, but 3 here because you're going to see I'm going to make use of a particular supporter card quite a bit in this mill style deck. So starting off with the supporters, we've got, first of all, nice full art Brock's Grit from the Evolutions expansion. Essentially, Brock's Grit is like 2 super rods combined into 1 supporter card. Shuffle 6 in any combination of Pokemon and basic energy from the discard pile back into your deck. I've got a Judge card as well for a little bit of sort of draw support and getting a new hand of cards if necessary. N is here for the same reason. Both players shuffle their hand into the deck and draw cards equal to the number of prizes that they have remaining. Judge, of course, both players shuffle in and draw 4 cards apiece. I've also got a Lysandre. In case the opponent has something on the bench with a heavy retreat cost and not really powered up to attack, I can bring it active. And since I'm not planning to do any damage to knock out Pokemon, just by, I'm going to be, milling out the cards, I can possibly leave a pretty heavy retreat Pokemon active and just continuously burn cards off the opponent's deck, and they're going to have possibly little options to deal with that. Now, for additional healing purposes, I've thrown in a Pokemon Center Lady to heal 60 damage and special conditions from a Pokemon. I've got 2 Skyla. I always love to have 2 Skylas in the deck to help find any other supporter card, or any trainer card actually, from the deck that I want at any given moment. And of course, anything but a supporter I could then play on that turn after drawing it with Skyla. Now, I've got 3 of the Team Rocket's Handiwork. When you play the supporter card, flip 2 coins. For each heads, discard 2 cards from the top of the opponent's deck. So that is going to be part of the mill process as well. I can only play 1 supporter per turn, of course, but if I can get a couple of flips of heads, I can go ahead and discard 2 more cards per heads. And with 3 Team Rocket's Handiwork and 3 Versus Seekers in the deck, I have a pretty reliable and steady way of discarding cards using that, as long as the coin flips work in my favor. The only other cards left are 2 stadiums. One of my favorite ways of draw support in a deck is the Scorched Earth. It's a stadium card that stays in play, and on each player's turn, that player can discard a fire or fighting energy from hand to draw 2 cards, which I have done. Did I just hear the cat? She's right back there. You probably saw her for the past like 10 minutes. Anyway, that helps me get some extra cards out of the deck. And the last 2 cards are a couple of tool cards. The Fighting Fury Belt. These work so well with Pokemon EX because it only functions for a basic Pokemon that it's attached to. But the basic Pokemon that is attached to gets plus 40 HP, and its attacks do 10 more damage to the opponent's active Pokemon. Forget the damage aspect, we're not really going to be attacking, but I like adding 40 HP to our Houndoom-EX to get it to 210 total HP. So that is going to be the deck. I've got 15 Pokemon, 34 trainer cards, and 11 energy cards. Let's jump into some battles right now and see how well will my mill strategy work in this week's Pokemon TCG Live Online match. And for those of you out there that do focus on using mill decks yourselves, if you see any flaws with this, which I'm pretty sure you probably can, I encourage you to leave some comments below how to improve this idea. I'll mention this again at the end of the video, but if you're able to help this deck become a little bit more consistent and more reliable, feel free to do so, because, as I say, this is not my forte. Milling decks are not really what I focus on, and I think I have a decent basis for the idea here for other people to sort of emulate, but if anyone out there can actually give better advice how to make this work better, I'm all ears, I'm all for it. But anyway, with that, let's get started with these matches. Alright, my first opponent is up. Let's see how well we can do with melting away Pakajuna Toofty's deck of cards. We have the advantage, apparently. I'm not quite sure how that works out, but let's go. Cool Lugia coin for the coin flip. They're going to get the call for the heads or the tails. They're going to call for tails, and we got heads. Let's let them go first, actually. Because if I can start with a Houndoom-EX, I can immediately start melting cards away. And there's a Houndoom-EX already in hand. I've got Skyla also. So what I might want to do is play Skyla to get a Professor's Letter and draw some energy out. I can then Versus Seeker for Skyla again next turn and get my nice draw support of the Scorched Earth ready to roll. So they're leading with a Flareon-EX, okay. That thing could put a lot of power out. It does 50 damage plus 20 more for every fire energy it has attached to it. And another one. Look how cute these are, though. The nice full art Flareon-EX from the Generations expansion. Are they Radiant Collection? They are. Alright, so that's a pretty good combo. Playing the Flash Fire, or playing the Max Elixir to put an energy to the bench Pokemon, but Flash Fire draws it up. So we might not be able to pull through this one. However, I'll drop an energy to the Houndoom. Let's go ahead and play Skyla for the Scorched Earth. Since we did just draw another fire energy, I can start getting my draw support immediately. Downside is this is going to help them, because I see they have a lot of fire energy themselves to work with. But desperate times call for desperate measures. Let's see what we can get off the top two. Have an Ultra Ball and Super Potion. I'm going to hang on to the Ultra Ball for the time being. Let's just go ahead and Melting Horn. So how exactly does this work? Once during your turn, you can move a fire energy. If I could somehow get Lysandre and pull up this Flareon-EX, that could slow things down a bit. So they're trying to get all the cards out that they can, of course. I'm going to try to burn away as many things as possible. If they get one more energy, okay, this is going to be even worse. It does even more damage with Volcanion-EX. That would be a good one to bring up with Lysandre. It's got a 3 retreat cost. And a Charizard-EX. Look at nothing but Pokemon EX on the field on both sides. All fire types, of course. Volcanion adds water type as well. And isn't it funny? Technically, this is a water type card that is weak to water. So Heavy Boots now has plus 20 HP and can't be confused. This is going to hurt. What's it going to do? 110? 120 now. Sorry, 130, I believe. What does it do? No, 140 damage. We are in a tiny bit of a spot. So let's go ahead and drop a Versus Seeker and grab Skyla. I think probably our best bet here. I'm going to play Skyla for a Professor's Letter. I want to grab some more energy cards. So let's grab a couple of fire. Yeah, that's good. Now what I want to do is play the Ultra Ball. Grab myself a Ninjask, or sorry, Nincada. I'll discard these two here. So let's grab a Nincada just to drop it to the bench. We do have a Ninjask in hand, of course. Now, if I Super Potion, how much will that heal me by? Well, 60, of course. Is that enough to survive another hit? Nowhere near close enough to survive another hit. Let me do the Scorched Earth right now and see what we can get. Well, it's unknown. That could be very useful. Let's drop that and immediately discard it. Farewell Letter. Where'd that cat get to? Energy Retrieval. What I'm going to do... I'm going to hang on to that Super Potion. It's not going to help us in any way. So let's just go ahead and Melting Horn, discard 2 more cards. Alright, they're a nice full art Charizard-EX. Check that out. If nothing else, that's a victory right there. So we're adding a double colorless to the Charizard. What does that one do? I don't recognize that one. I thought it was the same art as the previous Pokemon EX, but I don't recognize those attacks. It's from the Generations expansion, though. Alright. Hit me with your Blaze Ball. I do have Team Rocket's Handiwork in hand. Oh, Fisherman. Not bad. Draw back some of your energy cards that have been discarded. You don't put them back in the deck, though, so if I can play my cards right, why would you waste a card like that? You can easily knock me out without using that. See, they should have held onto that fire energy just in case I pull some sort of crazy strategy out on the next turn. But there we go. See, the first 2 prizes have been taken by my opponent. Let us now evolve up into Ninjask. Of course, problem is, there's really nothing we can do. I am first going to Energy Retrieval. Let's get back a couple of our fire energy. I really have to hope I can find Lysandre off the top here. Nope, but I got a Houndoom. Let's go ahead and drop that down. We can now Wing Buzz. What do I not need? I don't think the Super Potion is going to help us that much. I'll discard that. They lose a card from the deck. I can now free retreat into the other Houndoom-EX. I'll throw an energy onto it. Let's play the Team Rocket's Handiwork. Flip 2 heads. Or 2 tails. That works just as well. And let's go ahead and Melting Horn 2 more cards away. I think we're going to give it a Lysandre on their side, too. They're playing a Lucky Helmet. Obviously, I'm not trying to hit you, though, so... But it's not a bad strategy, using the Fisherman to bring back your energy cards, and letting the Volcanion-EX power your team up a little bit more. So that's going to be 130. With the Steam Up, they can do 160. We'll survive with 1 HP. We'll survive with 10 HP at least. You know what? This isn't looking that bad. I have a switch card. There's Lysandre. Alright, first things first. Let us switch into Ninjask. I guess we'll do the Scorched Earth right now. Draw 2 more. I don't think we really need the Fighting Fury Belt. We're not going to survive another hit, so we're going to Wing Buzz, discard that. They lose 1 more card. And now let's bring up the Volcanion-EX. And we're going to retreat the Ninjask back into Houndoom-EX and go ahead and Melting Horn 2 more cards away. Now, if they get a switch card of some sort, they can easily just bring this back as well. But if they can't, we're in a pretty decent spot for the rest of this fight, I think. They're down to 15 cards remaining. I got the Versus Seeker to bring back the Team Rocket's Handiwork. That could be a possible 4 cards discarded. 2 more using Houndoom-EX. If only there was some card you could play that... Wait a minute. Why? I can freely retreat. You're actually giving me access to Wing Buzz again. Alright, alright. I guess If you can't retreat that Volcanion, though, then it's not going to really matter. Alright, what can we Wing Buzz? Let's Wing Buzz away a Super Rod. They discard one more card. We'll drop out that Versus Seeker, grab ourselves a Team Rocket's Handiwork. Let's hope for a couple of coin flips with heads this time. Got one anyway, there's 2 cards gone. Let's retreat the Ninjask into Houndoom-EX and go ahead and Melting Horn once again. 2 more cards going away. So we're doing sort of okay right now. Dropping all those Fighting Fury belts that they have in hand. They should be trying to put energy onto the Volcanion for the retreat cost, though. If they have a switch card, though, they could have played me really well and just start tearing through the rest of my team. Why would you do that? You're going to deck yourself out even faster. Well, they got 5 cards left. Luckily, Lysandre's trump card is not a card that works anymore. Let me see what Skyla has for us. We have Escape Rope. I don't want that. I've got a switch card. I'll take that. So we're going to go ahead and switch into the Ninjask again. We'll Wing Buzz away the other Ninjask. 1 more card gone, and let's retreat the Ninjask and go for another Melting Horn. They're down to 2 cards remaining. Do they have any way of bringing cards back into their deck? There goes their switch card. That was helpful. And, oh, not bad. However, we might have this. As long as I can't put anything back in their deck. Go ahead, knock me out. They go down to 2 prizes remaining, but as you'll see, as soon as Ninjask becomes active, I Wing Buzz to win the game. I just gotta get rid of 1 card, which we'll do right now. They have 0 cards left in their deck. I simply end the turn, and that's a game. They've decked out. So, it worked out pretty decently. A lot of situational stuff. As I said, if you have any suggestions how to improve this for another person that wants to make this deck idea themselves, leave a comment down below. Mine was kind of really luck-based, but if you have some more reliable ways to make this work, feel free to mention them in the comments. So there's an idea for a mill deck there for you right now, if you want to put that kind of idea together for yourself. And like I said, check the comments. Maybe someone has some better suggestions on how to make this a little bit more reliable, a little bit more consistent. In an expanded format deck, you can actually include the item called Trick Shovel, which we'll take a quick look at here. Trick Shovel is a pretty interesting card that says you look at the top card of either player's deck. You may then choose to discard it or return it to the top. So in a mill deck, basically you're just going to use those to discard cards from the opponent's deck. You know, you're not going to care what it is. You just want to get their cards out of there. It is from the Flashfire expansion, so it currently is outdated as far as the standard format goes, but expanded format does still include that, so that could be an option for you as well. But with that, we're basically at the end of the video. So next week, I have one more idea, one more request from a viewer that I want to put together for a deck. But following that, we'll probably start doing the friend battles, the viewer battles, as long as we can get some sort of cool format set up where I can send out the announcement that it's time to play. Look for me online. But next week's video, Josiah Guerrera, I think I'm pronouncing that right, has asked for a Gallade deck in the expanded format featuring the powerful Storm attack. So it does 20 damage, times the amount of energy attached to all of your Pokemon. I've seen cards like this before. I think, what is it? Might be Gardevoir-EX, or I think even Xerneas. Yeah, Xerneas with Life Stream. Or is that Xerneas Break? Hang on. I'm just curious here. Keep Gallade in mind. But Xerneas... I don't see... Hang on. Show not owned. There we go. Yeah, exactly the same attack. This does 20 damage times the amount of energy attached to all of your Pokemon. So, same kind of idea. I guess the Gallade is a little bit better because you have to just use colorless energy. So a double colorless could power it up. Of course, you have to evolve up a little bit faster, or higher, I should say. But, as you will see, we can do 20 damage times the amount of energy attached to all of your Pokemon. So, I'll try to put together an idea for how to accelerate energy onto all of your Pokemon. Max Elixir is definitely a good way to go. And other things I'm sure can come to mind as time goes on, but I'll get that deck ready for next week. Probably do the recording for that on Sunday, but following that, I'm looking forward to trying to get some viewer engagement battles with you folks out there. So prepare your decks. In about 2 weeks' time, I'll be sending out the announcement either through a YouTube video or a tweet over on Twitter. Let me know what you prefer. I can try either or. I can actually do both too and see what gets the most response. But bring your best decks. I'll probably be bringing back some of my classic decks to start off with, such as the Mega Beedrill-EX. Marowak Break has been a favorite of mine too, and the Gengar Greninja combo, which I might update to be the Gengar and Ampharos combo, which is good against Pokemon EX. But we'll see what happens as time goes on. But with that, I want to say thanks for checking out this week's Pokemon TCG live online match. If you enjoyed the battle and the video, feel free to drop a like down below and leave a comment letting me know what you thought of the matches and ways to improve the deck. And any other cards you want to see me use in future battles, just leave those in a comment down below as well. And as time goes on, I'll try to incorporate your ideas into some pretty cool, pretty interesting strategies here in Pokemon TCG. And with that, we are done for the day. Professor Chaz is now signing off. Once again, thanks for checking out today's episode, and I'll catch you next time.